My name is Kevin Dugan, Managing Principal of Altus Property Partners, a property management and real estate operations firm based in Chicago. One of the biggest sources of tension in property management isn't maintenance problems or tenant issues. It's the financial confusion. So when boards, property investors, or owners don't have clear visibility into their property's financials, that's when uncertainty starts to build. And uncertainty often leads to frustration, mistrust, and poor decision making. That's why financial clarity is one of the most underrated aspects of great property management. Why do so many communities and property owners struggle to understand their finances? There's quite a few issues that can go on. A lot of times, honestly, management firms mess up the books. That means their accounting team isn't dialed in, they don't have the proper fundamentals in terms of the chart of accounts to categorize transactions correctly. Their bill pay system is maybe a little bit delayed, where they're not paying vendors on time, and a lot of this creates confusion. There may be other issues where the reports are technically correct, but because those looking at the reports don't understand how to interpret it, it can create this confusion. There's a lot of reports. There's profit and loss, there's general ledgers, there's balance sheets. All of these complex accounting terms can be confusing. There are also issues where there's a complex accounting presentation. How the numbers are presented, there could be variations to an explanation of how money has varied from where you would expect the budget to be. And then there's this disconnect between the budget and real operating expenses when it comes to a project that was handled. So when a board or an owner gets this report but doesn't know what they mean, that's where confusion can occur. So many reports are built for accountants, but they're not made for the actual decision makers in clear language to understand how your property is doing. What does strong financial clarity actually look like in property management? First off, there's going to be a clear financial structure. That means understanding which accounts are operating, where you're using your day-to-day expenses to pay bills such as utilities, general maintenance, cleanup. Then there's the reserve funds. That's money that goes into the account for saving for long-term future capital and projects. Making sure those two are separate so that you can handle the regular day-to-day and yearly activities, but plan for the long term. There's this idea of having real reports that are meaningful. So having very simple to understand but detailed profit and loss statements. That's how much your income is, but also how much your expenses were. Having this budget versus actual expense comparison to see where you plan to be but what you're actually spending. And then an understanding of why there's any large variances. Maybe there was a major water leak that went on where you had to do a bunch of drywall repairs, bring in the city inspectors, remediation, and that unexpected emergency caused a lot more expenses than expected. And then you want to have visibility, clarity, where the board members, the owners can actually pull those reports, understand the numbers, and you can see the performance of how your property is right now and make informed decisions towards the future. So the goal isn't just accurate accounting, it's being informed by the management company so you can make strategic leadership adjustments. So we get this question all the time, why does financial clarity matter so much? With financial clarity, our belief is that this is the foundation of your property. It allows you to see the current symptoms and problems you're experiencing, but plan for the future. So having detailed, accurate financials means you can better see how much money you're saving to budget for the future. You have to analyze how much you should be placing in a reserve account for much later in the future. It's able to reduce conflict amongst the owners as well as the boards, because by having this financial clarity available, there's transparency, and everybody wants transparency when it comes to the actual performance of a property. There shouldn't be anything hiding, there shouldn't be any uncertainty. The expenses are the expenses, then it's how well you managed those expenses to see if you've saved money or maybe you spent too much on certain categories. When people truly understand the numbers, that's when conversations really become productive and decisions become more strategic instead of reactive. As an investor myself and somebody who operates real estate on the daily, I always want my financial reporting to be perfect. And I wanted to answer one question. How is this asset performing? Whether it's in a condominium association, a multifamily building, or one of our single family home rentals, that financial clarity helps me, and it can help you understand what's working, where we need to make adjustments, and where the property is actually heading. So remember, financial clarity brings confidence. Confusion will often create friction. And when it comes to incredible management, it's not just about maintenance or operations, it's also about giving you, the leader of that property, the visibility you need to make smart decisions. And that starts with financial clarity.